3v3 League Season 7 now. A best of 3 from Division 1, the highest division out of 7 division for Season 7. Fitting numbers. We have Unrivaled Super Hottie captaining a team match made in hell here. Up against noobsQad, where Pete is the captain. And this is how they've selected their maps. Let's move Brazil out of the question, because they know they're up against some water enjoyers in noobsQad, so that makes sense. Frontline off the questions, and same story there, Frontline being one of the favorites of Unrivaled Super Hottie's team, possibly. It's a frequent map for the players from Britain. Colosseum, first pick for noobsQad, and for the host we have Grand Bara. A relatively open yet easily closed land map, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. And then we're banding down to the designated starting map, going to end up with... Yeah, Hottie hates Waterloo, by the way, as far as I know. But yeah, Capo Storm's random ban there. Guess it doesn't matter that much for them in the end. Leaving us with Arena to begin with. So I did dive right into Capture Age before starting to look at the draft, but I didn't look enough to pick up on the civilizations. So actually, Persians probably intended for one of the more open maps, but it would also be an amazing booming civilization for Arena these days. Maybe not the strongest one, but they have fantastic boom on any map. Italians, certainly a contender for Arena on flank. Faster uptimes with lower economic drain to do so. Ethiopians comes to mind as well for some cheeky fast castle plays and amazing late game siege. They have access to all of the siege weapons. Poles feel like that's an Arena pick, even though they'll be decent on the more open land maps as well. And we'll probably get back to the rest. Grambara. I can see Conquistador play happen on Grambara. Celts probably to chop through the middle sooner as well. Whereas for noobsQad, Bohemians, very likely an Arena Civ. Mayans probably not. Kerr probably. But it would also be good on Colosseum for a fast scouts play. Bengali is also an Arena flank civilization. Stole that off King Boo if he's playing for the other team here. And Georgians, I'm not quite sure where they fit in, but let's wager, I guess, at Bohemians, Portuguese, and Bengalis for Arena here, just to put something out there and see if we got anything at all. We, in fact, have Georgian's pocket for Robo, so he wants to get to those mighty Mona Spa here, maybe. I'm not all that familiar with Georgians. They start with 50 less food, though, so that doesn't seem like ideal for Arena. Then again, when you get to the Castle Age onwards and get to the fortified churches, that boosts the economy of the Georgians with an area effect, so that might be the line of reasoning here. So yeah, has to force drop a little bit of food here as well, because Georgians, they start with 50 less food. It's a bit of an awkward start. Then again, you don't need to build your first lumber camp, you can just use the mule cart, which Robo has been kinda using to, I guess it's just uncovered some of the black shroud here. Yeah, so you say 100 wood, not needing to build a lumber camp, so that means you could focus, if you wanted to, 7 villagers on food early on. To the left side we have Young Panda playing as the Bengalis. That smells like a potential Monk Siege push to me, to buy Robo as much time as possible to get a boom going, but you could also obviously boom with the Bengalis for each town center entering the Imperial Age, I should say, or for that matter entering the Castle Age. You're granted 2 villagers, so you could justify going up a little bit earlier to Imperial Age with the Bohemians. No, Bengalis, sorry, Bengalis without it taking too much of an impact on your economy or villagers' production from using the town center to research it. There we have Bohemians on the other side here for Pete. Hussite wagons are strong these days. They're kind of the new organ guns in many ways. They have the potential for tower rushes or monk siege pushes as well. But I think it's going to be the castle and unique unit play here. Sending a builder out to wall now, but no more to be taken here. Just brought in the first one, so that might just be why. Just some preliminary walling here on the flank side for Pete. Being up against King Boo, who's gone for the Italians. That's not to say you can't pull off any monk siege shenanigans with the Italians either. But yeah, they have a shortcut to the next ages with their 15% less resources needed to go up. So sort of saves a few villagers creation there for still a useful uptime for the Italians. Genoese crossbowmen could probably come in handy against Georgians cavalry from the pocket as well. So there's that. But I think King Boo enjoys the Woolaloo. So we might see some monks castle age play here from King Boo, depending on what's in. Italians fully upgraded arbalist as well. Certainly a potential unit to... Wait, we have Celt's pocket here. Great boom, obviously, but not something I expected necessarily from Match Made in Hell here. JBR, currently based in Australia, but he is British originally. He is... So we have two Australians here, actually. We have Robo and JBR. Or Australians. JBR is still British, but he lives in Australia. Yeah, he's gonna... play infantry siege then, I guess, from pocket position. And reinforce whoever needs it on either side. Dan MT with the poles on the side there is already on stone, but that's just the poles thing. They're bringing in 33% of the stone collected, also collects gold in addition to that. But he is moving forward, so we are in fact going to see a tower rush on Young Panda here. Oh, and so unfortunate for Young Panda with the forward gold here as well. That is unfortunate indeed. Because the berries, if the tower goes up at, yeah, I don't know where you want to place it. I would assume somewhere around here, and that's going to reach the berries, which Dan MT obviously doesn't know about. He's being joined by all of his teammate scouts here as well, sending forward 6 villagers, which suggests we're not only going to see towers here, but also use that poles gold collected from stone to add a few archers to garrison inside of the towers. It's a really strong play if you can get through the walls. Young Panda immediately reacts once the tower starts building here. His scout is over here, but there are 3 scouts from Match Made in Hell area. And in fact, they're able to have all 3 scouts and a couple of villagers attack the walls. So that sort of kickstarts that pushing through the walls situation for Match Made in Hell here. Almost gets a villager. But looking for another point of entry now that there are palisade walls behind up here. Young Panda not stressing out for the time being, just small mauling, the aggression out. Not going to let these villagers and scouts have easy access here. We'll see how it works out for them. Now entering the feudal age as well. Immediate defensive tower, which in a sense is value already, because for the Bengalis then will need to gather more stone to build town centers entering the next age. All 3 scouts here though, that could do some proper damage if they're able to get inside of the base. Young Panda did research Flume, which means that the scouts won't kill the villagers nearly as easily. They'll have to dodge the tower fire here as well. But all 6 Poles villagers now probably moving out. They're going to try and batter down this tower, I think, or just move through somehow to obstruct the wood and gold income. In fact, this map though, for Young Panda is, aside from the berries, it's all you could ask for. Hey, why did Dan the D-wall himself out here? Maybe he didn't want noobsQad's scouts to get out as easily. They'd have to go through the side gate to do so. And then now the tower goes up. Maybe this is going to have some some effect. This extra tower almost gets a villager there. Gets to deny the berries. That's huge, to be honest. It really delays Young Panda's Castle Age transition, if at all, here. Meanwhile, it's 27 population up for King Boo on the other side. He did lose his own scout inside of the base here. They all did. As another tower goes up, and Dan MD is just properly annoying here on noobsQad's left side flank. Robo 28 population up here. It's at 27 for JBR, so slight head start to the boom for the Celts here. Both pockets probably going to boom, but Georgians arguably better cavalry, at least if they go unique unit. They don't get paladin, but Celts actually do, even if they don't have bloodlines. So if this goes late enough, we might actually see Celts paladins versus Georgians cavalry here. Probably not, but in that case, that's a place where Celts paladins might work out. Hello, unrivaled super hottie. Oh, just now the barracks for the Poles player. I was expecting to see some archers to follow up here, but Dan and T probably changed his approach, seeing that Young Panda defended this well so far. Still stuck in the feudal age though, and is gone for archers of his own to stop any archers and towers from progressing further into the Grey base here. Meanwhile, 3 town centers for Pete. Maybe we'll see something similar by Boo. Or is he planning a castle drop forward here? He is with 4 on stone. He's with 29, which would be 30 population total. That is an old school arena castle drop unique unit build. Good use of the archers here from Young Panda as well, not taking any villager gathering time inside of the towers, aside for a little bit of repairs, which means that Young Panda should be ahead of the Poles player economically. It's just 1 villager, but he's got more archers as well, defending very well so far. Castle goes up at home base for King Boo, playing it somewhat defensively here, but is also dropping monasteries. And he's nearly with the gold food required to go to Imperial. This is fast imp monk traps, and Pete is in booming mode here, so this fast imp play could have some real potential for Boo here, depending on how Robo is able to help out once King Boo starts pushing here. 2003, so that should also give JBR a convincing economical advantage. Having lost all of the static scouts, this leaves noobsQad with a good opportunity to collect some of the relics as well. You see there's some army here for some scouts out to guard the relics and not let the opponent's monks take them out easily or gather them easily. Center for Robo now has the first fortified church in place as well. Can't really see the area effect here, but it's boosting these villagers at least. Or maybe you need a unique technology for that, I don't remember. But it's probably one of the reasons for picking Georgians for their economic advantage there. It is indeed Imperial Age for King Boo here. He is 1 minute 20 seconds to go. no sight of any b03. There is a monastery for Pete, but Pete is going to be lagging far behind in terms of getting to the Imperial Age. He will be able to get the defensive castle up, but that's not going to help very much against King Boo's fast imp Monk Treb play here, and there's some Genoese as well, just in case of any light cab meddling in to try and snipe the monks or the Trebs. So having some Genoese as well, certainly going to be handy here. Robo stays close with the scout. He's not able to spot the castle, but he sees the mining camp on stone, but that's not necessarily a giveaway on arena, as most people will be on stone, that's all at this point anyway. TC number 4 for JBR. It would seem that JBR, at least in terms of ELO numbers, the weakest player of the 3, has been given a good position to get the best possible boom going, and the other 2 are just going to try to buy JBR maximum time to get to a more powerful economy than Robo by the end game. Honestly though, it's 61 to 55 builders here, so JBR with slightly higher idle town center time is not as far ahead as you might think, even with the slightly faster uptime as well. So Pete has seen the Imperialist kick in, is started preemptively walling at the back of the base here to try and delay King Boo's aggression as much as possible, but King Boo has the petards in. Now the monks probably with block plate printing already and the required technologies, and first trebuchet trickling in, second one on the way. There isn't even a defensive castle here yet, and that trebuchet isn't only a powerful siege weapon, it also provides lots of line of vision inside of the base here. It's like the almost as good vision as an outpost would give you. Guessing Pete will pop up a defensive castle in the back here at some point and try to reach that Imperial Age. He's halfway there. He'll need something to deal with the Trebs, and Robo needs to get something out here to help as well for Pete to be able to hold this. It's not that much from King Boo just yet. It's been a 1 TC play, now he's dropping the second one, so he's going to eventually add some more economy here. But as you can see from the farming economy, King Boo is with limited economic investment here, so this is pretty much an all-in push on the right hand side until JBR can join in with some help from the pocket. It's still booming though. 5,000ers, university coming down, so it's going to click the Imperial Age once the university and siege workshop has been completed. Kind of keeping Young Panda at home base here. I mean, what would be a big brain play here for Young Panda to get away with would just make a siege tower from the siege workshop, try and sneak it around and obstruct Dan MT's economy at home, because that's also with this kind of tower rush, it's needless to say the additional town centers is going to take a while until they pop out. So if you are able to get inside of Dan MT's base here, then you could do some serious damage. Defensive castle is up, but the trebuchets are already firing away at it. Pete has managed to get one trebuchet out, doesn't seem to have enough wood and gold to get another one out immediately, so that's going to make it increasingly harder to take the fight against King Boo's pressure over here. Second TC for Dan MT as well, which is going to give him an eco lead, or extend the eco lead that he already has over the Gray player. A couple of scouts made it inside of King Boo's base somehow for Robo, so at the very least they can gather some intel, get some idea of what King Boo has going on at home, which obviously isn't too much as of yet. Strong aggression from Dan and D on the left hand side as well. It's not really doing that much damage, only 3 eco units killed, but it's keeping Young Panda at home base, and Young Panda will not be able to help out on the other side as he otherwise might would have been able to do. Maybe send in some big Bengalis monks. Great trebuchet micro from Pete here. Managed to get a second trebuchet out, manages to keep the castle up. And King Boo will need to get more trebuchets out now, but stone is going to become an issue for Pete. No more stone inside of the home base. Got his 2 trebuchets though. Meanwhile, King Boo is being annoying as heck and is using his redemption monks to convert the houses to worst case risk Pete getting house. And this with limited space as well, so it's not that you'd have to be a little bit consistent with your additional houses added here, especially if your castle goes down here for Pete. Meanwhile, JBR entering the Imperial Age at 126 villagers. You can see that match made in hell. They have a roughly 30 villagers lead here. So their strong flank side pressure is working out. A Mangonel almost taking out an Onager there for Dan MT, but obviously a Mangonel being weaker than the Onager wins that one. Crossbows also going to struggle quite a bit now against Robos. Siege investment, which is interesting considering we have Celts in the pocket position, not really providing anything yet. So some assistance for JBR over here could have been the way to deal with this Onager investment from Robo. He's gonna get there though, he's about to prepare the infantry. He's going straight for the Condotieros, which might as well join King Boo on this side and just help reinforce King Boo's push over here. A couple of monks for Robo as well. If he gets a lucky Onager shot in here, that could be a lot of dead units for King Boo, but it's going to need to move the units closer for that work. It's an infantry siege for the Georgians here. Probably because of the Bohemians already being kind of incapacitated. Has managed to get Bombard Cannon, or at least one Bombard Cannon out, so that makes it easier to take out the trebuchets at a distance. But we have 2 players being kept completely at home base here, while Match Made in Hell have established a sizable economic lead behind the aggression. Now being joined by the Celts Condotieros. They move a little bit faster as well. They move fast by default, but being the Celts, they think they benefit from the fast moving infantry bonus as well. Great raiding unit here. Full defense upgrades. Could maybe dive in and snipe the trebuchet as well. Yep, exactly what they're doing. At this point, having the Georgians go for more of a Monaspa passing here would probably be beneficial against the Condotieros, but it's not to say they are to be expected at this point. Wong's micro from King Boo here is clicking like a madman. He gets all of the life cap! Yikes. Holy. Oh, micro. That's some proper value right there. Meanwhile, DanMT beginning to sort of try to cut Young Panda off his teammates here by walling in towards his own base. Or maybe they're trying for this kind of wall so they can secure the trade for later as well. 12 light cap for Robo, but keeps losing units to conversion. I can only assume at this point that the Georgians don't have heresy, or Robo simply can't afford it. If so, because otherwise that would have probably been in at this point to stop risking losing units to the Italians monks. Lots of monks going down though to the light cap here, but speaking of going down, Pete is taking huge losses as well. The Bohemians player now down to 46 villagers, no military whatsoever, facing massive raids from the Condotieros here and has lost so many villagers. He's managed to leave with a few villagers though. I guess that's a relic inside of there. Now barely access to any resources at all. 45 villagers, no military whatsoever. Going to lose a few more to the Condotieros in the process of escaping here for Pete as well. Tries for a town center. What the heck? Very small woodline in the middle here. But closer to Young Panda. Young Panda to some extent has cleaned up the push of Dan MT, who is now fully boomed though. 30 villagers more than Young Panda, and getting Slata privileges now to start massing the Poles Cavalier and potentially the Winged Hussar to add to the already high military count of Match Made in Hell, who are committing fully to the Celts infantry here. No siege added from the Celts as of yet. Might not need to when King Boo supplies the trebuchets like this. Great experience for Pete. This one, strong pressure from Match Made in Hell. Young Panda going to attempt to push back here. Has the armored elephants, the trebuchets, and some crossbows. Not just some, he's got quite a few in fact. Is able to push the castle of Dan and T. Slaughter privileges already completed though, so doesn't risk losing the castle before that research can be completed. King Boo says, thank you very much, I'll have your gold please. After having more or less cleaned up all of Pete's base here. Looks like we might see some Celts trebuchets join in here as well. They fire faster as well. Halberdiers against the Monaspa, which has been, well, nerfed. Of course they have. They had lots of unintended bonus damage against buildings. But to be fair, Robo is making a decent mass of units here, and King Boo still doesn't have any means to mass Genoese crossbowmen, at least not in terms of protection buildings. Only has that one castle. May not need them though with the halberdiers on the field like that. See how Panda is doing over here. Cavaliers from the Poles, dirt cheap, 60% less gold after that unique tech. These trebs are just going to melt at this point. Should be an easy snipe for Dan and T, who is able to stop it. Oh, that's so close. That's disgustingly close for Dan and T. Their castle down to 150 HP or whatever, and the Cavalier now with nearly full upgrades and missing some attack upgrades, but making quick work of the siege elephants and losing some to the choke pointy crossbow mass here isn't that big of a deal, because you could just spam them at such a low gold cost, and it's so close to the reinforcements. At some point Dan and T will need to pull away because of the halberdiers over here though. noobsQad trying to secure some walls here as well. Pete doing what he can to at least try and get a safe trade route out here. Trade hasn't really been commenced by either team yet, and while Match Made in Hell has a convincingly better economy currently, it looks like noobsQad might be able to secure that trade situation slightly earlier. So it could be a long game still, even with the positioning looking quite good for Match Made in Hell in terms of economic numbers. They have a military lead as well, so having the military and economic lead, obviously always a good position to be in, but noobsQad kind of stabilizing. 71 villagers of Pete. He did salvage surprisingly many villagers here. Managed to collect the rest of the gold inside of the old home base as well, but that looks like King Boo either never completed or lost his forward town center as well. But doing great work here. They grow increasingly stronger as you collect more of them. Boosting both regular cavalry units and the Monaspa unit itself. I think it caps at +5 or something like that. It's still notable, and there's quite a few of them out and about now. 4 castles to produce them from for Robo. And then team with the ridiculous Poles economy behind this now. Got 163 villagers, which means he won't be able to supply more than 40-ish military just yet. Could be an issue. But not to... Oh, it's actually better to switch to Arbalest. Maybe it's time to have a look at the resources in the bank here to see there's plenty of resources for both sides. Here, gold, obviously an issue for Pete. Because that Pete will need to go into trash units while his teammates will try to recover some of this position and gold access. But at this point, any unit will do as long as you can field some armies to help support Robo's Elite Monaspa. Quite a chunk of onagers with siege engineers here. They do outrange the armalists when they have siege engineers. Robo getting some juicy hits in on King Boo's traps. Great trade there. All 3 trebuchets going down. Great onager micro from Robo, and is chasing King Boo's armalists as well now. King Boo adding the bombard cannons though, which makes it a heck of a lot harder for the onagers to deal with these armalists. Great army combinations at work here. Monaspa diving in to take out the bombard cannons, but going to need a lot more of those to successfully take out. Please. It's just not enough to engage here, I don't think, for Robo. Got the full upgrades in. Imperial Age Siege Workshop upgrades. King Boo at some point won't be able to flee anymore. These are peat walls, so King Boo can't enter these gates. Good split micro there, but also finally a great onager shot, and as you can see, a little bit of trade commenced for noobsQad. In fact, they have more trade running currently than is the case on Match Made in Hell, but they've had the economic advantage all game long. Now it's stabilizing though. noobsQad back on 100 plus builders for the full team. And both flank sides now adding the arbalesters. What is the bones are missing? They're missing the last armor upgrade. I think they may be missing Thumbring or some such as well. Stand empty. Claims more of the map now, adding guard towers with his military push on land. Here Robo sending some light cab over, hoping to find some builders or siege units to snipe. Could get the trebuchet potentially here. Bengalis with the elephant archers. Also a subpar trade here for the investment for Robo. Doesn't have all the trade cards working. Could cause gold issues long term. Oh, such a strong gold map saved. Marvelous. Bombard cannons. So many gold units at work here for DanMT, but Match Made in Hell arguably with more map control overall here, so they've got a healthy trade route running. Be it they're being chased by Monaspa as well, so they'll also need some walls up in the middle here to secure the middle of the map or sides of the map for trade and consistent gold income. Some sneaking happening as well, but that is pretty expensive when you don't have coinage and these things. Elephant archers, especially the elite version, is extremely deadly when you get enough of them, but looking at the overall situation for Match Made in Hell here, you could always have JBR go into siege onagers together with the halberdier investment is already made, and that should make it really tough for even the elephant archers to do enough damage. Let's see here. Still only generic elephant archers. That's some massive losses for Young Panda here, unfortunately. Stuck in the gate. Could be a pathfinding issue. Could be because of the crossbows in front there. Meddling. Losing all of the elephant archers too. Dan MT's Oligers. What happened here? Don't think that's necessarily a game changer, but that's lots of resources going down into the ground there for Young Panda. Nasty. Real menace indeed. Pete now with the elite skirmishers should be able to keep the Poles Arbalists away, but the Onagers, that's going to be a tougher one. 2 players making the elite skirmishers now. Young Panda making it as well. Is it a gold struggle? I think it's a gold struggle with the trade not kicking in enough yet. So even more kills for Dan&T. It should be interesting to see Dan&T's KD in the end here. It's also in a position where he can sling the team members because it's got quite some gold in the bank. No attempts at middle map walling for Match Made in Hell, but I probably feel like they have the map control as needed. Now Bolts get bombard towers as well. It feels like the sim barely lacks anything. Obviously making it harder to push this side, and the Mon Towers slowly but steadily pushing into the trade route of noobsQad as well. Castle about to go down to the Celtic Trebs as well. That's going to be 2 trebuchets pushing this. Go against Castle over here. That's 1 less castle to produce the Monaspa from, but there are 5 castles total, and Robo would still benefit from the Monaspa grouping together with Hussars or Cavaliers. Still got 30 on gold. That's trade units at this point, I would assume. We could check the trade count. Quite even for the 2 teams. But more military on the field for Match Made in Hell, and they certainly got the map control as well. They have pushed Pete completely off home base. Pete actually found his way back somehow and managed to collect some of his own gold, but his neutral gold is going into JVRs and King Boo's benefits here, so Match Made in Hell less dependent upon trade for consistency in their gold costing units production. Oh, we get the sneaky shot here for Robo. Goo splits again, got full vision on his Italians Arbalisters here. Not going to let those go down lightly. 5 bombard cannons for the Italians now, and a deadly mass of Arbalisters. Condotieros from JBR rather than Cavalier. Interesting approach, but that should also help to keep the skirmishes away. Should be more than decent enough with full upgrades on the elite Condotieros to get in close and deal with any elite skirmishers from noobsQad. So getting closer and closer to Robo's pocket here. Dan MT with the towers as well. Keeps and bombard towers. Lots of stone and gold going down into that, but also has trade units to support that. Dan MT with 33 trade units. Has deleted some builders or lost some builders to be able to field more military overall as well. Basically with keeps inside of the trade line of noobsQad here now. Unless they get further and further in, it's becoming increasingly difficult for noobsQad to find a way back into this game, because there's just no place to go at this point. So the trade has been breached, the GD is called. Interesting strategic approach from Match Made in Hell there. We didn't have JBR really contributing to the game other than getting a larger boom than Robo, but in the end, with so much time being bought by both flanks of Match Made in Hell, that allowed JBR to get the Celts infantry and siege out, and the Condotieros certainly got a lot of value throughout this game. Massive military score for Robo. Still had some serious KD going on here. Yeah, most kills this game, so the Molaspas certainly showing them power even after them being nerfed. Economy-wise, somewhat similar as well. These castles are fortified churches. Fortified church over here at least. Yeah, and here as well. So boosting the economy of the villagers around these structures. That gives a more efficient, especially farming economy, I guess. Oh, and the relic gold as well. Not insignificant here, 6,500, but not enough for noobsQad to close out the game. So unconventional arena saves are not too common in my eyes, but especially the Celts Condottiero, that's really smart move there from Match Made in Hell. When you don't have a proper cavalry pocket, saving that for the more open maps. You see Pete took a blow here, 250 to 94 villagers rated total. Celts, Poles, Italians winning that one against Bohemians, Bengalis and Georgians. The arena has been played as well. Will probably be Colosseum next, a completely open land map from noobsQad. Wonder if we'll see any substitutes or if it's going to be the same lineup for Match Made in Hell here. Colosseum, open land map, even more open than Arabia. Ethiopians comes to mind as a flank. Malay possibly as well for fast archers. Magyars or Frank's pocket, perhaps. Frank's pocket. No, Frank's might be for the middle of castles in the middle of Grand Bar. So Magyars, Ethiopians, Malay could be a good one here. Whereas for noobsQad, I expect to see Mayans, possibly Khmer with the battle elephants, but Mayans and Vietnamese flank perhaps. And then the pocket will have to think if it's either Slavs or Khmer. No standout pocket civilization. Very few Paladin civilizations overall here. Of course, Britain's heavily banned for these open land maps. And yeah, Teutons probably for arena as well. Let's have a quick look at the next game. Game 2. Persians, obviously. Persians, arguably one of the best pockets these days. So, see some remnants of farms here for Colosseum. It's a map where you need to venture to the side to get your woodlands up. That said, players still find a way to wall. They'll go for like box or bottle walling in towards the TC on either side to secure the woodline out of ranged distance. Oh, Persian pocket, sure, says Unrivaled Super Hottie. Well, I guess we kind of know what to expect then, and noobsQad probably do as well, with Loom already being researched by the Persians, and the Persians being on flank and not in the pocket. However, Dan MT is in the pocket, Dan Empty, with the Magyars, and he might be working with a more conventional approach together with King Boo for a 2 vs 1 situation against Young Panda. Poor guy going to potentially take a beating again like the previous game on the flank. Will have to defend like a champ to allow Robo to get the economy going as the Khmer. And Pete I don't even know what Pete will do against a Persian's douche here. It's a very open map, so it makes it harder to flee to relevant spots, especially if Dan MT sends out some scouts to support the Persian douche, which I expect to see here from Unrivaled Super Hottie. Pete, thirsty for revenge, might be looking for an elephant to lame here as well, but or rhino, but Hottie already collected the forward one. What's going on this side? Oh, here we go! Right into the boxing action here, even before any Townsend drop from Hottie. Funnily enough, this is a smart move, because Pete is going to need wood to, well, at least place a new TC when or if he loses his starting one. And having lost the villagers on the wood line already, he should be struggling big time for wood here. Pete not currently taking the stranglers. Super Hottie going for walls or house walls on the lumber camp. Oh, this is dirty playing by the red player here, and that means that Pete will need to collect stragglers before being able to place a new lumber camp at all, or pound through the houses here. Obviously this sets an Unrivaled Super Hottie back as well, but doesn't seem to be an issue for the time being. After all, he does have consistent wood access at home base here, and it's really forcing Pete to commit a lot of villagers' working time to free up the woodline at all over here. I would have to say that's huge value from Unrivaled Super Hottie with villagers moving forward. Doesn't quite... did get an eco kill as well, by the way, but lost one finally. Probably we're going to see a town center delete and drop here at some point as well. It's going for more villagers on wood. And flexing the quick walls, which I missed. Saving the weak villager and exploiting the fact that the pathing is subpar these days, to say the least, to successfully take out more villagers. Sending the weak villager home again. Pete, nowhere near the food needed to click up just yet. Only 100 something. Yes, I had to commit so much villager time to get to the woodland at all. So it's really taking damage here. King Boo with the 19 population up here, 1 villager on gold. As the Ethiopians will be able to afford fletching instantly anyway, with the 100 food, 100 gold granted by the Ethiopians. But here's where the fun begins. Not for Pete, but for Unrivaled Super Hottie. Sends several more villagers forward here now to complete that Persian's town center. Not in a fantastic position to secure the villagers as he drops the town center here, but the town center goes up well in time. Or, well, you can assume it does at least. For Pete's town center to potentially die before, or go down before Pete can get to the feud late here. He's still struggling for food to go up here. And this Persian douche strategy and, well, laming, to be fair, has really paid off here. It catches you properly off guard. Not exactly what I expected to see on an open land map like this, and I'm delighted to see something else than not just archers and scouts and archers and scouts and archers and scouts over and over again. But, you know, you can't really ban Arabia completely or open land maps completely from league events either. We need to have that variety and give the players at least the option to start or to play these maps, because some players specialize in the open maps, some specialize on closed maps, and that's what makes the league format interesting. With the home back picks situational, could see lots of even sets. Robo's first few scouts are out. It did indeed go for the Khmer in the pocket here. So, got Appetite comfortable. I think it was 18 population. Pete does have enough wood now to drop another town center and has the stone. Suppose that's gonna go on the wood line. It's also walling the villagers on the berries, keeping them safe. Then again, what's to stop Unrivaled Super Hottie from douching the berries as well? Only 19 villagers for Unrivaled Super Hottie, to be fair. So that's not ideal, but it's keeping the Mayans from being able to make archers at all, because the Mayans still in the Dark Age. Admittedly now with enough food to click up once that town center completes on the woodline over here. So all in all, Pete has survived here. It's with 10 villagers more than Super Hottie, and he is going to click the feudal age, I can only assume, at this point, with the resources now in the bank. There we go, feudal age clicked. Obviously not going to happen for a long while yet for the red player. Left hand side, we'll have a look here at King Boo's advances. 10 archers out and about now. Probably has had pretty decent production from these ranges. To have that kind of number. Great aggression against Young Panda, who did not opt for a defensive tower on the woodline, or the gold is off wood as well. Only 80 wood in the bank for Young Panda. Has to commit to stragglers now to be able to produce anything at all. Add some skirmishers because the scouts are busy over here and there aren't too many scouts to help out for match made in health side, but such great early damage from the Persians here, and King Boo with a more consistent archers massing on his side as well. Going right for the woodlines on this very open map. And just denying crucial resources of the other side here. So, GG well played. That's a 2-0 for Match Made in Hell. Maybe a little bit one-sided, but at the same time, very unconventional approach, especially in this game. From Unrivaled Super Hottie, setting himself massively behind here, but also delaying the strong Bayern's flank by quite a lot here. Boo with the highest military score. We completely neglected King Boo's side over here because of the action on on Hottie's side, but let's see how King Boo managed to get all of this damage in when he did. It's a small wave of archers. It's 4 archers of actually not even fletching yet, because it's double ranges. You still need wood to produce that second or to produce your blacksmith and get fletching researched. Great micro, out microing Young Panda here, leaving Young Panda with just a couple of archers and then idling the full wood line, getting more and more economic value here. Fletching now in makes it easier to take out everything, keeping the reinforcements close, denying the blacksmith over here. Young Panda just doesn't stand a chance against King Boo's aggression while Hottie is also pushing the mines off wood. Robo pretty much untouched, but that would be one untouched player against 3 more or less untouched players, and it's just snowballing out of control for noobsQad, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the stats. Neither of the flanks made it to the feudal age here, so Pete, I guess, must have been researching feudal age. Does it show? That was roughly halfway there when they called it. So, rough game for noobsQad on this very open map. Was probably relying on getting early damage in through more conventional means, and Match Made in Hell just didn't want to let that happen at all, and opted for Dark Age aggression instead, at least from the Persian's flank, which you don't see very often in team games, to be honest. Let's cross out the civilizations here as well. What was even Portuguese for your Pata? Okay. Not a win, but a loss for that one. GG, well played.